Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever this video may find you. It's I, as always, Gavin, and I am here in a gorgeous, lush, vibrant East Canyon, where I am here to drive a Suzuki Cappuccino. I have not driven a Suzuki Cappuccino ever before. About 6 years ago, I drove a Honda Beat on this same road, but that's a naturally aspirated mid-engined K car. This is front-engined. This is 657 cc's. It's turbocharged, dual overhead cam, 5-speed, rear-wheel drive, and I want to find out what it's all about because I haven't had any real other K car experience, and we've been driving some slower things recently, like that Reliant Robin, also right-hand drive. And yeah, let's just go figure out what this car is all about.
So a Suzuki Cappuccino, this revs to over 9,500 RPM, even though 8,500 RPM is where it says redline is at. I hate when people say a car of any kind is like a go-kart. I think there are few exceptions to this rule. I think this is an exception, but it's weird because cars that often handle like go-karts are heavily compromised in the daily driver attribute, right? They're not very pleasant to spend time in. The seats might be hard, stiff suspension, really touchy steering. This has got none of that. And I've even caught up to a Honda Fit right now. So you can actually still hustle this thing in corners, which is an absolute riot. Yes, 657cc engine, dual overhead cam with a turbo. The owner of this car has actually had this on a dyno, and he said he had it at 69 horsepower, which is very nice. It's weird though, it sounds like a tuner car in here. There's all these blow-off noises, wastegate, all that stuff. So it sounds, I'm not gonna say it sounds like a Supra, but there are like these weird like whoosh, like noises to it. It's hilarious. Here we go. 8,000, 9,000, 9,500. Hey everyone, I am driving the Cappuccino right now, and I maybe talked a lot of talk about how nice it was here in East Canyon earlier, but it has since gone to shit. So we're trying the best that we possibly can. We're still doing flyby shots. We got some amazing rolling shots considering we shot on GoPro. So we're trying the best we can. And I'll put this somewhere in the video. It just might not have the best continuity over, you know, how nice it was earlier. It's springtime in Utah, so we're just doing our best to figure it out and to give you guys the best content that we possibly can. So I'll see you in the video. Being built in the 90s in Japan. You had Mark IV Supra, FD RX-7, you had the Nissan Skyline GTRs, you had the Acura NSX, and then you also had Honda making the Beat, AutoZam, Mazda making the AZ1, the Miata came out during that time, and this Suzuki Cappuccino, which is rubbing thanks to the BC coilover suspension. It's still a little soft. It's fun to chuck in on the turn-in. This is awesome. You can actually carry a good amount of speed going downhill this thing. Well, what's there not to necessarily love? On this specific car, the suspension has got to be lowered a little bit because it has BCs on it, but it's also still a little soft. It's good for, you know, daily driving, but when you're chucking it in corners, it does rub. The pedals, while spaced nicely,
The throttle is a bit slow to respond at all, so heel toes, from my perspective, are a bit of a chore. And I seem to have caught a GMC Acadia because guess what? It is the first weekend of the year where we can enjoy these canyons, and you're letting me buy. Thank you so much. Thank you. This car is super charming though. I mean, it looks great. It sounds just delightful. You have some like cheerful pops and bangs. And what I love is it's just balanced. It's balanced in the things that you can do, just like that NSX that we drove. This does both ends, where it can actually be comfortable on the freeway. This comes with a hardtop. I didn't want to shoot this with the hardtop on because why would I? But it's also just charming and just fun just to toss through some corners. Top down, windows down. I hope you can hear me. It's light. It responds. This car is also supplied with the factory LSD. They put an LSD in this thing. How about that? Okay, coming up to a hairpin. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Let's go. 8,500. 9 grand. 9,300. The gears are a little tall. That kind of makes you work for it. Compared to the Honda Beat, this is definitely more of a mid-range car. With the Honda, you really had to rev the ever-living piss out of it to go up hills and do any kind of like speed limit number. Here, don't really need to. You could actually drive this a lot more like a normal car, which makes this, in my opinion, a better commuter. It has a trunk. We have the top stored there right now. We're rocking the Target top today. It's not an intoxicating speed like a GT3 RS, but it entertains you with what it can. And that's why I love this car. I didn't know what to necessarily expect. It's been a long time since I've driven a Honda Beat. The Honda Beat has become more well-known in this country in the last, 7 years or so. I think it's probably time to give that one another go. I'm not saying I like this more or less, and I haven't driven an AutoZam AZ1 either. I think that would be a riot. I'd love to get all these 3 cars together and do a thing. I keep on using the word delightful, but what a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon driving through your favorite canyon road. Give him some time. And actually, while we're talking about time, I'm actually wearing an Omega Seamaster. This is supplied by my friend G, as he likes to be called. He actually had that 4.2 R8 that we drove in our film, all about 4.2 V8 Audis. So the reason why I have this is because I'm actually doing articles on watches. If you know me, if you follow me, you might have seen some photos about various watches. I also wore his Rolex Explorer 1. I've done some others, so feel free to go over to the Exhibition of Speed website, and we have a whole article and blog section. You can also find hats. We also have a t-shirt. This is an old prototype t-shirt of ours, but we have hats, hoodies, stickers. We do this out of love and passion for, driving other people's cars. But yeah, if you want to support us, support the channel, buy a shirt, buy a hat, buy a hoodie, because winter is going to be coming soon anyway. And yeah, go get you some. Still got good dynamics. And that was the thing I wanted to talk about. It has balance in multiple ways. I'd love to have like a little apartment in downtown Salt Lake and have this be my only car. I think that'd be hilarious. Kind of live more modestly like the customers of this car back in the day in Tokyo would have been. Ah, there's that rubbing again. It's funny, I was expecting to enjoy the downhill more than I was the uphill, but that's actually not really true here. So if you have one of these, try to make it not rub.
because this carrying momentum downhill, oh, be amazing. The turn in is crisp, considering it's electric power steering from Japan in the 90s. There's some feedback through the wheel, but it's not a hard car to drive. The only thing that makes it really difficult to drive is you gotta give it a lot of throttle, gotta be heavy on the right foot to get it off the line. It can cruise on the freeway just fine. You're not screaming like crazy like you were or you would be in the Honda Beat. I am going to miss this car after we hand it back to the owner. It really strikes a really great middle ground of being nice inside to, grand tour. I mean, okay, I'm like 5'9", and I can fit in this car easily once I'm in. Trying to get in is a little much. So maybe running a lot of errands during the day is maybe not in the cards for this. But listening to that turbo and the tiny little intercooler that it has, it's just a good time, man. And the speeds that you're actually enjoying yourself are so much lower than it would be in like an R8 or a GTR or insert Porsche here. Wow, people are pulling over. Thank you. Not all hope of humanity is lost. Someone just let me enjoy a Suzuki Cappuccino. If you can still hear me, thank you for watching. We appreciate each and every single viewer of ours. And we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.